business, and I want the consumer to know this is what I'm doing to sell your home. And that's where the digital piece, especially what you're seeing a little bit here, super important.
I love that. So your story is showing up in everything you do.
It has to.
All right, I'm going to jump into your open houses now. Talk to us about your open houses.
So, open house. Well, I love open house because 20 years ago when I started, I had $1.99 to my name. And I figured out really quickly sitting in a real estate office was getting me $0, but sitting in a vacant house was getting me lots of dollars. So I really built my career with sitting in opens 5-6 days a week and just being out in the community to meet people. We still, till this day, we do around 9 to 12 open houses a weekend. It's a very big focus for us. I wish more people would do open houses. If you're going to do open houses, just be intentional and very purposeful with them. Make your calls the day before, door knock the day of. Be prepared. When you get into that open house and the neighbor comes in and you know what's for sale in their neighborhood and you can talk from a place of knowledge, you just gained a client.
Awesome, thank you. So again, we're gonna have a link at the end where you can download all these slides so you don't have to take pictures. You can if you want. And also we're gonna give you guys about 15 minutes at the end for questions. So start thinking about your questions now. All right, so now we're gonna jump into Steve. So Steve, talk to us about this slide.
So these are covers of a publication that we put out, a couple of them actually, called the Stakeholder Report. And the neighborhood that we've specialized in is the South End in Boston. We're now working as well in Back Bay, which is Boston's probably most prolific neighborhood. The Stakeholder Report contains a lot of statistics, market statistics, but also lifestyle pieces. So the top row and the bottom row are stakeholder reports. The middle row is something that we call our market metrics report. The market metrics report, which I'm not going to discuss a lot, is sent intermittently. We send 35,000 of them out, roughly 4 times a year, and we split it between 2 neighborhoods. And we have found it is scalable because you can vary about 25% of the content. The rest is a zoom in, zoom out on very local matters, but also topics that are national and international for real estate. So the stakeholder report is more lifestyle. It also has stats in it that underscore our position as economists of choice. And then the market metrics is specifically and exclusively market stats. So these are covers, and we're working with an artist to create original cover art, and some of this is kind of New Yorker takeoff, where you get the view of the world from your neighborhood. The middle one on the top there is a couple of groups of people getting ready to go into an open house. On one side are empty nesters, on the other side the stroller set, and you see captions of what they might be thinking, because they're basically competing with each other for housing in our neighborhood. On the end is the dog park with dogs looking just like their owners. So there are a lot of things that, that sort of touched on the personal side with our consumers. I would say through all of this, I think your point, Lori, is so well taken. It's very easy to look at something like that and say, oh, great, if I have a neutron bomb of money, to drop on my market, then wouldn't that be great? And some of this is that, in all candor. In particular, though, it's about the publications that we're actually printing and that we're mailing. If you strip away the printing and the mailing, and I'm not at all convinced that that is the most important piece of what we do, what you really end up with is what is laid bare and should apply to every one of us, and that is about producing content. And these covers are produced for very little money. There's talent all around us. You can use interns from schools, you can go freelance with people online, and you can get them to produce things for you very cheaply.
Awesome, and what it's doing ultimately is what we talked about earlier, is positioning you as the expert. You are the expert. All right, so we're gonna jump to the next slide. reoccurring features.
So these are, which should be recurring. And that is a word, reoccurring, and I have that t-shirt that says I'm silently correcting your grammar, but this snuck through.
I didn't create it.
Okay, so these are features in every stakeholder report. We want regular features. A close-up on one of our team members you'll see there, notable sale, close-up, introduction to a neighborhood resident. We is it on your left or your right? On your right, I believe. We profile a historic structure, and we tell the story of the structure. This could be any building of note in your community. On the lower left-hand side are a series of buildings. We issue both a mid-rise and a high-rise report intermittently. And so we're becoming, therefore, the experts in particular buildings. And then you can see the graph there and list of sales. We'll chronicle the most expensive sales in the market, the least expensive sales, interest rates as they've tracked, valuations, stats, none of which, by the way, we make up, and all of which can be sourced pretty inexpensively. I think it's really important to note as well, if one does not wish to have a publication, you can certainly just author a piece and blog it. In our case, we take these and we reblog them, and then it's been moving our search rankings up as well. The other thing I would say about the recurring features, some of the other ones that we do, we will close up on a business category, a particular business category. We'll do fitness studios, we'll do spas, we'll do outdoor cafes, and we'll list them all. And then these businesses can't wait to get your publication there in their business, and once you've made the connection, then they want them there, repeatedly for your future issues. We'll do a before and after, and this helps us, we may not even have sold it to the people. We may just know that they did this really cool renovation, and we'll take photos, professional photos, and we'll show the before and after, kind of like an Architectural Digest thing. And then the other thing that's very important to supporting the position that we've decided to stake out is that I will write a market outlook every issue. And what I just do is I'll just start Googling it up. I'll go on Realtor.com, I'll go on Zillow, I'll go on Bureau of Labor and Statistics, National Association of Realtors, and just start getting into, and I take an hour, I don't take a day. What are economists saying? What are the range of forecasts for our market going forward? And how can I synopsize the perspective of economists to then, and credit them accordingly. Never just one. Pick 5 or 6, because then you're just throwing it all in, and by extension, you are absolutely the expert who has synthesized this. And of course, the final cut on that is that you want to think of it in terms of what is your gut? What actually is going on in your market? And these are special features that we also include in the report. And you can just have fun with this. And what I would say is open the idea bank with your friends, with your team, with your spouse, and start thinking about the kinds of things that would be interesting to your market. So here we'll go on to Pinterest, which I wouldn't even know how to get on. I'm so with you. I really don't. But I think of these things sometimes. I'm like, what? And so we'll gauge how much the traffic has increased for a particular topic. And it'll allow us to determine what the design trends are. So we know, for example, big wall art this year, up 638%. It's all about big wall art. Wow. Your consumer may want to know that. Herringbone, in. Violet, in. Mixed metallics, in. Oh, I'm digressing a little bit. Although I do have the world's best stager, Deb Ellis, with me, by the way, and you should connect with me for an opportunity, especially if you're from Miami or New York or LA. Because we have a great opportunity for somebody in staging in a high-end unit. Digression. The other things that we do, little plug there. The other thing that we do on these special features is we will do things like go to our 20-year plan, which we can go to for our cities. And most cities or communities will have a 20-year plan, and take a look at what it is that is planned, and then start to write about it. And the last thing I'll say is, I'm no longer writing a lot of it, and I can't do a lot of these things well. I actually can pretty much write, but now I just edit. But you can also hire a journalism person very, pretty inexpensively as an intern. But sometimes you do have to watch how you position things for your market, and I will give you one example. We were doing a story on groundwater, on the rising oceans. And you know, it was just the facts, ma'am, and the kind of thing. And I read the article, and it started going on about how we're basically going to be underwater in 20 years, and well ahead of, I believe the exact words were, the rest of the planet. It was like our community. And then the title of the thing was Water Up to, On, and Over the Bridge. And so we moved that around a little bit. You want to tell the truth, but we decided to retitle the piece Climate Ready Boston. And I've seen that sometimes, especially if you're hiring students, and I really do recommend that because you can do it cheaply. That you do need to make sure that what's being delivered is being delivered with the market focus that you intend.
Right. Excellent, excellent. Completely different than what Lori's doing, would you agree? Yes. Yet just as effective. So it's not one size fits all. All right, so Veronica, can you talk to us about this?
So a lot of my marketing that I do on my own is through social media because it's free for the most part. And I take photos of every settlement and whether it's a buyer or a seller and put it on Facebook, and you know, my clients will say something nice and people start to comment on it, and I've gotten referrals that way. So I do a lot with my Facebook page, both my professional and my personal. I'll share from one to the other and just make sure that I'm staying top of mind for everyone that I'm friends with, and it makes the phone ring. I mean, I get reached out to a lot. They see I'm out selling houses, having success, and with a great team, and when they need an expert, they call me. One of the other things that I did this year, which was really exciting, is that I bought ad space on a hand sanitizing display in a local grocery store. So I was contacted, met with them, and it's a big thing. You can't see in this photo, but it's like 5'5", and the whole top is a picture of me, and then the bottom it says in proud partner of the Bob Lucido team, and has photos of houses. And to generate some interest around it, I did a few giveaways on Facebook. So when I first had my ad up, I said anybody that took a selfie with my hand sanitizer, I would send them a $25 gift card. And people were all over it. I had about 10 people who went and took photos. And then later, to generate some more interest around it, I said that I would donate $250 to Leukemia Lymphoma Society in November, and that I would donate an extra $10 for every person that took a selfie with it in that month. And that's the ad that you see in the middle. So just trying to generate some interest around my photo, my branding, and also the team, so that people will know who I am if I land in their mailbox. And the two little guys, or girl and a gal, in the bottom, I guess, right side are my children. My husband stopped at that grocery store the other day and snapped a picture of them for me, which was very nice while I was out working in the rain. And the middle postcard is a postcard that our team helped me, or they designed for me to send with the same messaging that's on the hand sanitizer to send to the local communities, just so folks start to see my name and my face and generate some, self-branding.
Awesome. So, question on with the Facebook. Now, how frequently are you posting stuff, and are you doing videos as well?
I'm not doing video. I know that I should be, but I'm not there yet. I pay a company. I think it's very inexpensive. It's about $60 a month to post on social media for me, relevant articles and things of that nature. But then I am posting. I try to post at least something personal once a day, just to stay in people's faces. The kids are great. Real estate, whatever else, to just stay relevant. So I am on social media a lot. This year, these pictures that you see are a pie party that I did. It was the first year of doing it. Was very successful. I sold about 58 homes last year, and I had about 30 people come pick up their pie. I ordered from a local bakery, and we had a great time, and I, had my assistant help me design some stickers with my information on it, my branding, put them on the pies. I've also done, as you can see, a sponsorship for a local golf club, and just was a whole sponsor, and will continue to help with schools and folks that are having events at the country club.
And then I also had some, recently, some golf balls made with my logo on it. I'm going to do a Facebook giveaway when the weather warms up to, you know, hopefully target market on Facebook to some golfers. So to try to maybe get some high-end business through Facebook branding. So I'm trying to pull it all together. It's been a lot and a long time coming, but I'm really enjoying this stuff, and I think the clients do too. They like seeing my pictures on Facebook. They like, you know, knowing a little bit about me personally, and it leads to referrals, phones ringing.
You mentioned that the clients are actually coming to you to pick up the pies. Why is that important?
So I didn't have to deliver 30 pies at Thanksgiving.
I share that because we did a pie event and we had people running around delivering 45 pies, and it was a
Well, if I'm being honest,
nightmare.
I did have about 9 or 10 people that didn't show up. I didn't do as good a job this year, or this was my first one, so I didn't do as good a job following up and making sure they knew I was buying them a pie and they needed to come get it. So I did have to deliver about 10 pies that week, but they appreciated it showing up at their doorstep, you know, and I had a face painter and I had a chair massage therapist, so I made it like a fun sort of fall party for kids, and, you know, it was great. But it's nice to have them come to you.
awesome.
And then this slide just shows some of the team marketing. So obviously I don't have anything to do with it, but we use it all the time. And it's just very sleek, very well done. One of the things that we bring value is we have staging. We have a staging department, professionals that'll go in, make such a difference. We have professional photographers. We have the trucks that you could use for life. As I said, we are community donating if there's issues. When we had the hurricanes, we're down in Houston and trying to do what we can for that. And in addition, we've been named the best top workplace for 4 years running, and I've been there 3 of the 4 years, and I couldn't agree more. So it's a great place to work as well. Everyone's happy, friendly, and we're hiring too.
Awesome. All right, so talk to us about the effectiveness. Like, how do you guys track with your marketing? How do you track the effectiveness? And anybody can grab this one.
So I wish I had started this when I was new in real estate, and over the last 5 years, tracking has become one of our big one things. Whether, again, if you're spending $100 or you're spending $50,000, you should be able to track every dollar that goes out and how many dollars are coming in, so you know where to continue to spend your money. So what we've done is we've focused on scripts and asking the consumer how we were lucky enough for them to choose us as their real estate agent of choice. So whether you walk into an open house, whether you call us on any of our marketing, whether you come through our lead generator, it really doesn't matter if you're a referral, a repeat client. We have very specific scripts to track exactly why you came to us or you came back to us. And then we use all sorts of tracking systems to know exactly, did you come from a repeat client? Did you see an open house sign? Did you see a yard sign? So we're very cautious on tracking. Again, something I didn't do early on in my career, and it's a big no-no. We like to say now, if you can't track it, don't spend it or do it.
It's the red light, green light.
Red light, green light, and I like sparkly things. So tracking's important.
Awesome. Anybody else want to jump in on that?
I can jump in. I can't speak for what the team does in tracking. I'm sure it's very, very intense. I ask anyone that calls me where they found me. I don't do that good of a job of tracking it. I know if they're a personal referral so that I can send a gift, but I need to be better with tracking what I'm doing. Mine is all relatively new, so I need to put some tracking around it now so that I can have some real numbers, but I need to be better at that.
Awesome.
A lot of times when you're marketing in various places and somebody wants to do business with you and you say, who may I thank for the referral, or who may I thank for you calling us, they'll say, well, I don't know, I see you everywhere. Mm-hmm. And 2 years ago we accepted that, and now we are question after question until we can get down to the source. The source really matters a lot.
So we're gonna open it up to questions in about 10 minutes. So what I'll have you guys do is if you have a question, you can line up here. I'll let you know when. And that said, with regards to the market, what Gary's been talking about all morning with, Zillows and Redfins and all this, what are we doing to combat that, to stand out, right? To continue to keep our business, because the consumer doesn't even know. As far as they're concerned, they feel like Zillow's the broker, right? So what are we doing? I know some agents are going out and they're doing community videos, videotaping the local restaurant, the local CrossFit gym. What are you guys doing to take that business to be the expert in your area?
So specific to Zillow, if we're really looking at just Zillow, we're speaking about an entity, and they're one of. I realize there's a whole category, yeah, but just them specifically, their big thing is that they valued the consumer's home, and that's why the consumer goes there. So we have developed something that we refer to as the Market Movement Index, and we have a specific protocol around it, and we snapshot the value, we identify the class of inventory that a property represents, and we go back in time to the point in time when the consumer purchased it, and we look at the value range of similar properties. And then we will fast forward to the present, and we will go back 6 months in time, and we will perform the same analysis. Then we will find an appreciation factor, and we will apply it to what they purchased. We do this before we go in, of course, because we want to see if it comports with what we otherwise have determined. And when it does, it also seems to be nailing the Zillow algorithm. So we're using Zillow, and we're stepping into it, and we're complementing it with our own metrics. But the other piece is with respect to all of these intermediaries, these third-party lead aggregators and so forth, we have a real love-hate with it. And Gary alluded to it today. They're not our friends, and yet Gary has said on many occasions, I'm not saying don't take a referral. I'm saying be aware you're paying for it, and you're paying for it in lieu of actually lead generating. So we're careful with them. For example, our spend on Zillow we did at one time dump a pile of money on Zillow, and now we've stepped back from that because it wasn't as we tracked it producing.
I love this question. So Zillow, Realtor.com, they're not going anywhere, right? So we have a saying in our team and on our team, and that is lead generate so you don't have to tolerate.
Ah, that's good.
Can you repeat that again?
Lead generate so you do not have to tolerate.
Can you repeat that again?
I'm about to fall for that again. And really what that means is you determine what your goals are. And then you determine how many people you need to speak to, how many open houses you have to go to, how many homes you have to list, how many buyer consultations you have to have, how many listing appointments you have to have to accomplish that goal. And Zillow is not going anywhere. And we embrace Zillow as a team, and we tell the consumer, we do everything through the consultative approach. So if you're going to buy with us or sell with us, we're going to have a meeting with you, the same as if you would meet with your lawyer or you're an accountant. And we're going to tell you straight up front, we're sure you're going to go and look on Zillow, and we encourage you to go look on Zillow. Please know that we want to be that person that handles the entire real estate experience. Just let Zillow be that place that you're searching. Let us be the person that helps you through the process. We really can't fight the giant.
Right.
Yeah, they don't need us for search anymore. They can find houses on their own. They need us for the experience. So Veronica, do you want to jump in on that one?
I do not pay for any Zillow leads personally. We do get them occasionally through the team, so I can't really speak to what's being spent marketing-wise on that. I know that it's harder to convert an internet lead than it is to convert a personal referral, so that's why I spend my time on social media with people that I know and trying to do things on a more personal level versus internet leads, but I know there's probably some value to them. I'm not personally paying for them right now.
Awesome. We'll go through all three of you guys, then we're going to open it up for questions. So again, if you have questions, you can just line up in the middle aisle and I'll have a mic. What's on your marketing wish list, any of you guys?
My marketing wish list would be number one, to better monetize our marketing. We have no advertising of any kind. We don't want something that feels like advertising. So we're looking at partners who can add content in a way that doesn't dilute our message. And also, over time, we're going to look at expanding to other niches. So I think, in a sense, it's very easy for what we do to have it be really useless to a lot of people because it's specific to our market. But the advice I would give is think about producing the content and think about it as a one-off, an article. You know, be an expert in that regard. As far as the niches go and what we're expanding to, we want to expand to, for example, the single-family niche, which in an urban center, now that might be for many markets everything, but we're in a condo world in the middle of a big downtown. So for those of you for whom that applies, we're looking at a publication that specifically looks at single-family homeowners in cities. But that's just an example. I guess my wish would be to expand to niches and to reach consumers where they will feel like they're being marketed to and spoken to directly in a way that no other agent has.
And how will you know when you're ready to do that?
Well, I know when I suggest to my team that we do and they pitch a fit, and then I fight a little bit, and then they relent that we can do it. And I always say, and this is true about everything, and I really mean this, I always say, has there ever been a time when you all thought something and I thought something else that I vetoed you? Because I do not. If you all agree that it's yes or it's no, then it's yes or it's no. But I am always pushing. I'm pushing on deadline, I'm pushing, and they say, you know, you're pushing, we can't do that. And then we marinate it in a little bit, and if that is still the predominant sentiment, fine. But usually, when they relent, then I feel like, okay, I guess we can do that. And I come out of the meeting, I'm like, wow, okay, didn't know if we could.
Awesome. Lori?
For us, on my marketing wish list now is to become really, really powerful at video and telling the stories of the consumer, and just making a really big video splash in 2018. So that's something that we're working on. And interestingly enough, it's very, very inexpensive.
And why video?
Video is, it's what we have to do. It's what's going on. It's what my marketing person said I have to do now.
There you go.
She said, you have to be on video. I said, ooh. She said, you're gonna do it. I said, okay.
Who's doing Facebook Live? Raise of hands.
Oh.
It's huge, guys. Facebook Live is absolutely huge. By doing it, you're getting more views than anything right now on Facebook. All right, Veronica?
So my wish list this year is to be a better tracker. I just learned that today. I need to really track what I'm doing. But my goal is to develop some marketing around increasing my price point. So being a little bit more purposeful with whom I'm marketing to try to generate the clients that I'm interested in working with, so that I can push my price point a little bit. That's my goal. And it's got to start with some self-marketing so that I'm getting my face in front of people that I want to have call me.
Awesome. And same question I asked Steve, like how do you know you're ready to do that? What does that look like?
My husband has been telling me I need to do it for 2 years. So to save my marriage, I should probably listen to him. In his defense, he was in real estate for a long time, years ago. And he said he was very, very successful with it. So he's going to help me develop that a little bit more. And it's time.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you for that. And Lori, do you have something to add?
I was just listening to what Veronica just said. So if you are starting out, I always like to talk about my failures. And for me, one of the ones I would say is that I used my face as the brand. And now 21 years later, I'm stuck. And so really think through your branding and what story you want to tell and how you want to be seen by the consumer. I don't know that it's definitely necessarily your face. I can't go back now, I'm stuck, and I've let them know I'm never changing my picture, so they have to deal with it.
Nice. All right, so the slides are up there. If you want to download, there's your link. If everybody could please go to the app, it's KW Eval or KW, the app, and give us feedback on this. That would be super helpful. All right, so if you could please do that. And we're going to open it up for questions. So if you could, do you have a mic? All right, awesome. And if you could just keep it to one question, that would be awesome. All right, and you want to just introduce yourself, where you're from, for referrals?
I'm not a realtor, but
Okay, cool.
yeah, so Veronica, Baltimore native, go O's. Yeah. I'm from North Augusta, South Carolina. My name is Craig Reynolds, and I'm doing, I own a digital marketing company. I came here to learn a lot about how realtors are doing what they're doing. And my question is very simple, and all three of you touched on it. How do I get my real estate clients in front of the camera and not be so scared?
Yeah.
Real estate clients.
Yeah, I have clients who are real estate. I'm a digital marketing person, so I have a lot of real estate clients, and universally, with one exception, they hate the camera.
You bribe them with gift cards.
And you tell them
Talk
to
to
Lunch.
their spouses, I guess, right? Save their marriage.
well, part of it too is just have fun with it. Don't take ourselves so serious, right? Just have fun and get out there and start doing it. And the more you do it, it's like anything else. It gets easier.
So I said all those and they don't listen. So there's no magic pill, huh?
So you want your real estate customer to do a video.
Yes.
Easy. Show them the
Customer.
value, show them what they'll earn from it, show them how it'll grow their business, show them how they can add to their value proposition, make it about them. They'll do it.
Got it.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks for doing that.
Hi, I'm Kayla. I'm from Orlando, Florida. I'm an EA, so I'm not an agent either. My question is, my agent, my mega agent, she's a marketing guru. She went to school for marketing, straight out of college. She went straight into real estate. We are in the process. She's asked that I involve myself more into the office operations and have the bigger picture of director of operations, and then eventually just expand from there, grow up. My question is, do you make cold calls? Did you make cold calls? And what was the trigger that said, this isn't my niche, this isn't my 20%?
I have not. I do not make cold calls. I find myself very lucky that I don't have to do that. That's not my thing. And to touch on what Laurie has said, is just you need to find your thing. If that's not your thing, then find something that is. I'm much better in person.